At the beginning of Feb, we had a huge market sell-off in the crypto market. This video, I'm going to explain to you what I'm looking at in the current market right now based on the ICT strategy. Let's start off with the total market cap chart. What we can see, if I break down the chart on the monthly time frame first, your overall dealing range low and your overall dealing range high. Now, using the ICT strategy, if we use the lows to the highs, the area that we tapped into last week was the discount side of the dealing range. Anything below this yellow line down here is your discount side of the dealing range. Now we have tapped into this and fulfilled some key levels. We want to look for longs in this area and shorts within this area. So now, given that prices come into the discount side of the dealing range, we also attempted to create a break of market structure but failed to do so. This is a positive sign. Now we're still on the monthly time frame down here. On the weekly, we failed to close below this level, which is good sign. However, if we do close and break on the monthly time frame below this level, we could see further downside moves. Now that doesn't mean that we won't come back up, and that could be your alt season. However, we need to be prepared for the downside moves. So what we can see is prices come into the order block down here, your OTE level 78.6, rejection, and close above on that level as well. We also have the overall fib from the dealing range low to the dealing range high. We've tapped into the 61.8, which is a good sign, but we still have all this area down here. Now that is a question that remains open right now. Do we come lower? Let's look on the weekly time frame. What can we see? Weekly time frame, as I said to you, we have not closed below this level down here at 2.3 trillion. That is a key level for us, and we've closed above on the weekly time frame, which is a good sign. We have a new dealing range between this high and this low. Now, if this is a valid dealing range, I do want to see a push up from this level above. That confirms that this is a swing low, and we already know this is a swing high. Now, if that is the case, price is likely going to move slightly higher into our OTE level or our fair value gap. So I'm looking within the regions of 2.8 trillion or above, and I'll be looking for some short setups down here to take to the downside. On the daily time frame, what we can see is we did create a break of market structure, but that next day we completely retraced, engulfing the candle. Now what we can see is we're having consolidation. Price has been consolidating, and we're likely going to continue consolidating for a while, because usually what that means is we don't know where price is yet going to go, and consolidation is what drives the market. Now, if we do come up into this region, I will be looking for shorts to the downside. However, if we do consolidate and move down from here, the first level I am looking at is the lows down here at 2.06 trillion. Now, if we tap into that region, it's likely we may continue moving down from here. And if we do move down from here, the areas that I'm looking at are the overall swing low to the swing high, OTE level. So between these areas down here, 2.04 to 1.47, this is our overall downside target. Now, this is if we continue crashing from here, we're likely looking in the regions of 1.45 trillion. Let's look on the daily time frame to see what else we can look at. We've got these areas down here. These are strong lows. All these areas are strong lows. So there's a likely chance we may just come into the lows down here, which is 1.81 trillion, or the lows down here, which is 1.96 trillion. These are all target areas we can look for reversals. However, we need to catch the move to the downside as we go down. So I want to see price come into that region, and then we can see price move down from there, and we'll take a position to the downside, and we'll also capture the reversal to the upside. Now on BTC, we're seeing a slightly different picture. On the monthly time frame, what we can see is we have the overall swing low to the swing high. Now this dealing range down here, we can see that prices come into the discount side of the dealing range, but we've closed just above the discount side of the dealing range, so 50% level. Now, it doesn't matter if we do close below the dealing range in the discount side, but what does matter is how we close and break market structure down here. On the monthly time frame, we haven't yet broken structure at 74,000, but if we do, price will likely continue moving down to the downside. But even if we do move down from here and close below this level, we can also look at the total market cap, because the total market cap chart paints the picture better than anything else. We will look at this for further clarification. Now, what we can see on BTC specifically is price has come into the discount side of the dealing range. We've rejected off the 78.6 and this order block down here. And what we're expecting now, hopefully, is a pullback. We can go on the lower time frame to look at where we're looking at specifically, but that's what I am anticipating right now. Overall swing low to the overall swing high. Price hasn't yet tapped into the 61.8. Now, that's an area of concern because we can come back down now and tap into the regions below 60k. Now, if we continue moving down from here, my downside targets on BTC are sub 50k. If we can come below 50k, I will be taking positions to the upside, spot buying, and I may even be buying some BTC at this point. Now, on the weekly time frame, what we can see is your new dealing range high to the new dealing range low. And this is not yet confirmed until we actually get a bigger push to the upside on the weekly time frame. However, what I am anticipating is if this is our new dealing range from the highs to the lows, I'm expecting price to pull back up slightly higher into the 61.8 to the 78.6 fair value gap. So around the regions of 83,000 to 90,000. Now we also have the midpoint of this dealing range at 79,000. We can just call it 80,000. Essentially, what I want to see is price come above the 80k region, and I'm going to look for reversal setups around these regions. On the daily time frame, what we can expect is if we do come into the 80k region, we can see we've got a fair value gap down here. We've also got this fair value gap down here. I will look for slowdown in price action as we move up. I'll look for a break of market structure on the 4 hour or the 1 hour. Price comes back up into a key area, and I will take a position to the downside from here. And either I'll put my stop loss above this swing high or above this swing high down here. And this will be my short-term short position to the downside. Now, overall, I am still very bullish in the market, but what we need to see is more clarification on where the market's going to go in the short term, because I am expecting price to move to the downside a bit more because I want to see BTC tap into the regions just below 50k. Now, Ethereum is looking pretty clean. On the monthly time frame, we've tapped into this weekly order block here, this monthly fair value gap down here, and we closed above this area. We also have a fib from, if we put on the overall swing low to the swing high, we've tapped into the 61.8 and rejected it. Downside targets on Ethereum have actually widened. So we can actually come as low as 1.3k. And if we do drop below 1.4 trillion on the total market cap and below 40k on BTC, we're looking within the regions of 1.250 to 1.100 on Ethereum. Now, I highly doubt that's going to happen, but it's always an area that we need to pay attention to. Again, I am still very bullish in the market, and I'll tell you exactly why in a second. I'll go in my altcoins. On the weekly time frame on Ethereum, what we can see is price has rejected off the order block down here. We've closed above. Price is rejected off this fair value gap and we closed above. We've got a fib from this low to this high. We've closed below the 78.6, which is not a concern for me, and we may continue coming down one more time. And even if we do come down one more time, I will be looking for positions to the upside, as I say, because I don't think this is yet over. Now, this cycle is different to other cycles, and that's why we need to pay attention to where we are at in the market right now on the altcoins. Now, whenever I talk to you guys and I'm telling you I'm buying, I normally buy altcoins. And the reason I buy the altcoins is, although they higher risk, look at where they are at. So starting off with algo, if everyone keeps complaining that we are in a bear cycle, well, this coin down here has been in a bear cycle, therefore, since 2021, because we haven't really had the alt season down here since 2021. And if we are in a bear cycle, how much lower can this coin actually go? Look how low it is. Now, another example will be Velo. If we zoom right into this, price is almost at the all-time lows. Now, if we're in a bear market, how much lower can this actually go? And this is why this is the area you should be accumulating and buying coins. You should not be afraid of buying coins around these areas. You should not be selling. If you've bought down here and prices come back down on a spot buy, you should not be capitulating your positions. You should not be selling your spots. You should be accumulating more, because as we moved from the highs down here to the downside, your drawdown is 90%. However, if you buy from these lows back up to those regions there, you've already 10x'd your capital. And that's why it's very, very important your dollar cost averaging on the way down. Now, another coin is CRV. Now, Curve looks very, very good because we flushed the lows down here. Zooming right out on the monthly time frame, we can see that we are at all-time lows. And what normally happens when we're at all-time lows? 1, 2, 3. 3 times we've tapped into the all-time lows and we rejected it. Now, if price does come lower, I will be buying more. But the goal is to accumulate as much as you can as low as possible and hold the position until we rally up to the upside. Now, no one can actually predict when we're going to have the alt season, but the most important thing is that you're dollar cost averaging and you're buying at the right times, and these are the right times for you to buy. Now, if you like these types of videos, I trade crypto using the ICT strategy. Consider subscribing, hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next video.